This is Death or Prison, brought to you by leanonmeusa.org. We bring you stories of hope and encouragement.
Hello and welcome to the Death or Prison podcast, brought to you by leanonmeusa.org. I am Johnny Branham.
And I'm Elmo Big Mo Golden.
And I'm Antonio Madison. How you doing?
Good. We're continuing a conversation of your testimony of where you took us through where you grew up in Tallahassee, in the split household between your mother's household and your dad's household. And when we left off on the last episode, you were literally just shot and in the back of an ambulance.
Yes, sir.
And you believed you had, or you were going to tell us in your words of what you felt like when you died, literally.
You had been shot, what, 7 times? Was it 7?
Nine times.
Yeah, I was shot 3 times in the right arm, 4 in the left, 2 in the stomach. Yes, sir, 9 times.
Yes.
Man, you're a miracle, man.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're a miracle. I can't wait to hear the rest of
And like I said, I got to the hospital and I died. Died right there. Died as soon as I got to the hospital. And it was black for a second. And like I said, it was clouds everywhere. And I won't say clouds, but it was white. It felt like clouds. It was white. And I felt like God was showing me what I was asking for, because I asked him to clean my sins, and I asked him to forgive me. But I also told him that if he does all this and spare me for my mother's sake, I speak his name and I'll get closer to him. So I see a chalkboard, green chalkboard, brown trimmings, no chalk, no dry eraser, no place to put it. It don't have no chalk residue on it. It don't smell like chalk. It don't smell like it had water in chalk on it. It smelled like nothing. Brand new chalkboard. And as I go to realize why I'm here, I wake up. And I wake up, first person I see is a relative face I ain't seen forever, my Uncle Tony. And I'm in a cast. My right arm in a cast. I'm paralyzed for sure. Can't move. I'm in ICU. And I asked him for some water. But that's all I wanted. Found out I couldn't have no water. So I cried. Family came. And the person who I wanted to see the most haven't seen me yet. That was my auntie, the one who told me don't go. She was like, nah, don't go, stay home. But when she seen me and we locked eyes and she cried, and the only thing she said was, I told you not to go. I got mad. I kicked everybody out the room. And this is where my world kind of went for a turn. Because while in the ICU, an investigator came and talked to me. I thought I can get halfway smart, and it kind of ended up being my demise as well, because I hit the little button that they give you when you want some pain medicine. You hit the little button. So I'm thinking that it gonna kick in instantly, that I could just go to sleep, but it didn't work like that. It started kicking in as he started interrogating me. So I'm not gonna lie, I started off lying. What person don't lie? Who want to go to prison? So I started off lying. So I told him that some dude was coming to pick up some weed. We had went to the dude house. They knew each other. I stepped in the way because hey, ain't finna be no guns involved when I'm here. This is what I'm telling him. And at this point in time, I guess the lying started kicking in, because I'm reading this all while I'm in county. I'm reading my motion of discovery, and I'm like, this is the questions. He said, well, what gun did Mr. A have? I said, oh, he had a 9mm. It wasn't. I got shot with a 40mm Smith & Wesson. He said, well, what gun did the other guy have? Oh, I said 1911 Springfield 45 ACP, name, make, model, everything. And he literally asked, well, how do you know the name, make, and model? I said, because I play Call of Duty. You can look this up. This is in my record. You can look this up. And when I read that in my cell, I knew I was going to jail. So I knew I was going to prison. Yeah, I knew. Yeah, I sent myself to prison, trying to be smart. Yeah, done set myself to prison. But what happened was, I'm in here. I'm looking for my wheelchair because I really want to just get out. I know they coming. I'm trying to get far away.
So Antonio, when you died and you
Yes, sir.
woke up,
Yes, sir.
or I'm sorry, you had a dream.
Yes, sir.
And the dream entailed a clear chalkboard. Explain that to me.
Okay, well, in Colossians, it says that when you ask God to clear your slate, he wipe away your script. He wipe away your slate. And what people don't understand is God come to us in ways that we understand. You know what I'm saying? For us to understand. And I felt like that was him coming to me saying that, hey, you asked me for a clean slate. You told me that if I save you, you was gonna work for me. So this is your clean slate, and I'm showing you it's squeaky clean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't
Okay.
get it dirty. And I woke up, you
Amen.
know, and then but I woke up into turmoil, you know, because it was peaceful. Like it was peaceful. It was quiet. Nobody was there. Like I couldn't hear myself talk. I couldn't hear myself think. It was very quiet, very peaceful. And you wake up and there's noise everywhere, chaos, nurses coming in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Your heart monitor going off, beep 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 beep. You can't breathe. You got tubes in your hand. Your hands clamped because while you asleep, you trying to pull tubes out. It's crazy. It's very crazy. And while in ICU, investigator came. He asked me some questions, and them questions led to me actually being indicted later on in life because I had to go to Atlanta. And at Atlanta, this is where I found out I ain't have it so bad for the crime and for the circumstance that I was in.
Oh,
Shepherds of Atlanta is a good place for people in wheelchairs. I'm not, no promo, but I was
s-
there,
s-
and they teach you how to be in a wheelchair. And while I'm in a wheelchair, you see other people in wheelchairs, and they're paralyzed neck down. They can't use their hands. And it's accidents that you won't never think. This man was swimming with his kids, slipped in the pool. This
yes.
this kid was at work,
So
fell on the scaffold.
so
And it's
you
just things. Hmm?
so you went from being in the hospital and were you still fighting charges when they transfer you to
I
Atlanta?
was
Was that a
not indicted
rehabilitation?
yet. I was not
Okay.
indicted yet. There was still
Okay.
an investigation going. So, and that's what made me go to Atlanta because it was the furthest thing from Tallahassee. Because
Okay.
yeah, I had Brooks in Atlanta trying to recruit me to their rehabilitation center, and I just went to Atlanta, to give
Okay.
myself some time to think about my actions. And
Gotcha.
at Atlanta is where God showed me that it could have been worse. Could have been way
Amen.
Mm.
worse. Yeah, it could have
Yes.
been way worse. Like you could have been literally breathing out a tube, not being able to feed yourself, not being able to take care of yourself. But you say you're gonna
Mhm.
work for me, so I'm gonna make it where you work for me. But
Mm.
Amen.
you're not gonna be the same man. And that's how he wants you. He don't want you the same person. Same person did dumb things. He wants you who
Mhm.
he wants you as. So but
Amen.
So now you're hit with the indictment. Tell me
yeah.
about your mindset at this time.
So he called my mother and tell my mother, hey, we gonna go ahead and charge Mr. Madison with no, my fault. At this point in time, I think it was armed burglary and possession of a
Mm-hmm.
firearm by a delinquent
Mm-hmm.
felon. I'm not armed burglary, home invasion and
Ooh.
possession of a firearm by a delinquent felon. I'm sorry. And I had to go turn myself in. And as I got there, like, he was telling my mom, oh, we gonna R and arm. He's in a wheelchair. They gonna be real light. They do not care about your condition. They don't care about what they one leg, no leg. Oh, we got somewhere for you. They don't care nothing about your condition. So I'm
Mhm.
rolling in front of the little window to try to look all elderly. And
Yes.
the guy who do your little barn here, your first
Mm-hmm.
appearance,
Right.
he said this one word that killed me. Well, I ain't gonna say killed me. It made my bond go up. He brought up my juvenile charges. That's why I say my juvenile charges are always
Mm-hmm.
hunting me. He brought up my juvenile charges and called me a menace to society.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Bond instantly $100,000. Other bond 10,000. That's 11,000 at 10% to get out. I don't know nobody who got
Mhm.
$11,000 just sitting around like that for me to go. Give me that pillow and that blanket and that peanut butter and jelly. I'm gonna need all that. I'm gonna be here for a minute. And this
Yeah.
how God work. Now this how God work. I read my motion discovery, and God told me you ain't gonna do too much longer. But the devil he'll try to tempt you now. See if you fall for it. Because once you fall for it, you lose your mind, you lose yourself. The prosecutor came to me. She told me she was gonna try me with life. I said, I rebuke
Mm.
that in the name of Jesus. I rolled from that little window. I hit the button. The guard came and got me. I went back to my cell. I prayed, and I got a new lawyer, Mr. John K. I don't know if I can say his last name, but he
You can
was a
say
good
it.
dude. Oh, Mr. John knows. He was a
Mm-hmm.
good
Yes.
dude, you know what I'm saying? And he fought for me. And I think he knew, like, hey man, like, you know what? You did what you did. This happened to you. I don't think you need like no life, no 25 years. I think you suffered enough. And I think you're going to
Mhm.
suffer enough. So he fought for me. So we got a bond reduction. And this is where God works. I'm rolling to bond. I'm into my bond reduction. It's just me and another lady, but it's my mom and my primary doctor. And I look at my mom. I'm like, "Did you call her?" She said, "No."
Mm.
So I roll over there. My lawyer come. He say, "Mr. Madison, I see you signed all the paperwork. They're going to question that you're faking this wheelchair thing. They think you're faking." I said, "What? This is a customized wheelchair. How can I be faking this? Ain't no way I'm faking this. Come on, man. Y'all tripping. Ain't no way I'm faking this." He said, "Well, hey man, I'm to argue with that. We got the right paperwork. We got the proper paperwork to do to show that you're paralyzed." So I said, "Hey, that's my primary doctor right there." I said, "You can call her name. You go there and say Dr. Janet Gibson, and she gonna say, huh, that's my doctor. She been doing my physical since I've been a baby, and she was the first doctor I seen since I came back. She have all my records. You can ask her. He okay, that's a good thing. So he do his 1 2, and if court, he can't
Mhm.
bring a witness or evidence to the courtroom without having the prosecutor to cross examine. So
Right.
she tried to do her cross examine, and my doctor wasn't going for it. She basically asked the doctor was, "Hey, can you think the county can house him in this situation?" And my doctor was like, "No, he need further rehabilitation, and he needs special treatment and special
Mhm.
stuff like that." So I got the bond reduction, got out, and I'm on an ankle monitor. Why? I don't know where I'm gonna go, but I'm on an ankle monitor for a year. And throughout this year, God stayed working. The charge, first of all, they changed the charge from home invasion, which is, a minimum, I think, of 30 years in Florida, to
That's
armed
right.
burglary with person assault.
Mhm.
So that
Mhm.
gave me some wiggle room, especially with me being my first offense as a adult.
No, don't.
So
Mhm.
it went from life to 25 to 10 to 5 to 3. And then too,
Mm.
the guy who shot me, he wasn't trying to cooperate either, because he was living wrong, he was living foul, and
Mhm.
he jumped state. They say he went to Tennessee or something like that. So
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
my lawyer came to me. He said, "Hey, I got you 3 years." I'm like, "What can I sign?" Because they were
Mhm.
throwing all these big numbers at me. What can I sign?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
off the prison I went.
Antonio, before we get to that, right?
Yes, sir.
Cause I want our audience to really kind of capture, like I
Yes, sir.
said, your mentality from being this young dude full of life, running around, you know, and and really just having all your faculties in place and in order, to
Yes,
now
sir.
being dependent on everybody else, still trying to live independently, operating out of ego and
Yes, sir.
pride, uh,
Yes, sir.
and to the point to where you're literally helpless, and now you're being thrust off
Yes, sir.
into a prison. Tell us a little bit tell us how you feel about that.
Coming from where I came from and the
Mhm.
background I came from and the people who I talked to, because like I said, I had opportunity, I felt like a failure. I felt like a failure at life. Man, that whole year I was out, I
Mhm.
consumed more alcohol in that year than I ever did in my life. I felt like a complete failure. Like I didn't know what else to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, and I felt my fault. Let me back it up a little bit. With legs, I felt unstoppable. I felt arrogant.
Mhm.
Like you said, I was cocky, young. I didn't say young, but smelling myself. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Muscular.
Mhm.
And it took God to show me, like, nah, I can stop you. I mean, I was saying dumb stuff like, I can't be stopped. We are gods. Like, nah, God
Mhm.
had to show me, like, nah, I'm the God. Like, I'm
Mhm.
Alpha and Omega. I am.
Mhm.
Amen.
I am the beginning and the end. You are who
Yes.
I made you.
Mhm.
So yeah, it took God. And that's what
Yeah.
made me focus on him more, because now I know you the big dog.
Right.
And a little bit, I mean, you grow up in the church, a lot of people question a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
question a lot of things. And God put the ones that question in predicaments to show them who he is. And he gonna
Right.
show it with wrath, love, and forgiveness.
Were there any bouts of maybe depression? Did you have loss of hope, suicidal thoughts?
Few. I never told
Mm.
nobody that, but yeah, it was a few suicidal thoughts when I first got shot.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
But thoughts and actions, I don't know. A lot of people once before be like, I don't want to be here. I don't care who you are. Everybody done got in some type of way. I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to be here right now.
Mm.
But giving up, I never been that.
Mhm.
You know, I never been that. I never been a quitter,
Mhm.
and I just can't see myself giving up that easy. I can't. Let me stop. Let me rephrase. Let me requote myself. I can't see myself giving my soul to the devil that easy
Mhm.
when I already done
Amen.
gave him my free life. You know, like no, you got to
Mhm.
earn this one. Yeah, you
Mhm.
got to earn this one. You just can't. You just can't just get this one. You got to earn it. So, and while you trying to earn it, it's gonna have nothing but God armor all over it. So it's still not gonna be yours.
Right. How did you
Yeah.
prepare yourself after the sentencing and now you're knowing you're going to prison? How did you prepare yourself for that?
Yeah, you can never be ready for prison. Financially, I gave my mom a little money to put up because I know I was going. I ain't want to rely on nobody. I ain't want to be the one on the phone begging you to give me your hard-earned money, for canteen and stuff. I ain't want to be that person. I put myself in this predicament, and that's how I basically the whole time I made my bed and I laid in it. That was my whole attitude. Like I put myself here. Ain't no I put myself here. Put
Mhm.
myself here. I tried it. That's what quarterback is about. Trying to beat.
Mhm.
Trying to tell your side of the story to win the case. I tried. I lost.
Mhm.
You know. Hey, I gotta eat this.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It ain't nobody fault but mine. Ain't nobody make
Right.
me go knock on that man door. Ain't nobody make me get in that car. Ain't nobody make me go rob. Ain't nobody make me do nothing. Yeah, you ain't got opportunity, but guess what? You know where else you ain't got opportunity at? Prison. But it's so
Mhm.
funny in prison, everybody find opportunity.
Hmm.
So funny. But you can't find it out here. That's how I felt. Yeah, my whole time in prison, I
Mhm.
felt disgusted with myself.
Mhm.
Why I'm here. I don't want to carry on if I miss anything, accuse anything.
No, no,
No,
you're
no,
doing
no,
well.
you're
Okay.
I
fine.
want to do. I want to tell you though, man. Throughout the whole interview, I'm constantly hearing you take accountability. Like
Yes.
Yes, sir.
you're definitely not playing the victim role or the blame game for with any of this.
Yes,
You
sir.
know,
Nah,
most of us use our own lives and try to justify why we did what we did because I didn't have a dad or I didn't have a proper education. None of those things are prerequisites of thoughts that should cause you to want to commit harm against anybody, right?
I did what I
So,
wanted to. See,
mm-hmm,
I'm gonna tell people here this, and why we on national news. The devil don't make you do nothing. See, when
Mhm.
God say, "Have you tried my servant Job?" He ain't make Job do nothing. He ain't know. See what the devil do? He tempt you. He tempt you.
Mm.
He put it in
Amen.
front of you. He display it in front of you. It make it look like it's so
Yes.
golden. And once you bite into that apple or take
Mm.
whatever that is, you gotta get the consequences that come behind it. That's how he get you. But see, one thing about it, like I say, when it come out your mouth, now he knows your heart. You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying? God don't know what you're gonna do at first, so he want to see. And once you make that action, now he see. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't mess with our free will. He want to give us free will to do what we want to do, serve him or not. So he don't want to mess with free will. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, everything be on me. Accountability is number one thing. Devil don't make you do nothing. There can't nobody make you do it. I wanted to do all that, and I got exactly what I wanted to do.
mm-hmm,
Plain and
You
simple, man.
you said something, and I don't even have to do it now. I was going to ask you, what would you say to the youth and the people are incarcerated, but you
mm-hmm,
pretty much encapsulated that when you said that no one is making us do anything. The devil tempts, and there are a lot of individuals right now that are susceptible to that peer pressure. And we think peer pressure just applies to people who are 16, 17, 18. No, you could be under peer pressure 30, 40, 50 years old, and it's in the form of temptation. But I do want you to tell us some things that helped you during that time of incarceration. Was there a time where you got closer to God during that time before you got out? And how did you walk through that?
First thing first, routine and God always. God was the everything. And to the point my routine became so known to the people around me that respect my routine. I read my
Mhm.
Bible every day. And I told myself instead of jumping through the Bible, and I preach this. And I hope anybody looking at this, I preach this. Read your Bible from front to back, like any
Mhm.
other book.
mm-hmm,
You read every other book from front to back. Read your Bible from front to back. You'll get a full understanding of God from the beginning to the end. You'll get a full understanding, and you'll see how much it reflect back to your life. Because the only thing it's trying to do is trying to change you. And see, the trials and tribulations come in when you try to fight against the change that God wants you to be. See, that's when it started to seem hard. But yeah, it was in there. I read my Bible every day, front to back, every day. I did devotions, I did a little godly study. I didn't get involved with none of the prison activities. My whole thing was I said, you know what? I'm here for a whole 24 hours to do nothing. So I'm gonna level myself up. I'm gonna read books that's gonna benefit me when I get home. I read Business for Dummies. It made me so business savvy. I read the Wall Street Journal and Mansions that taught me a little bit about real estate and stuff. I taught myself stock. It's like I taught myself a lot in prison. Taught myself how to tattoo in prison. I use prison as a institution, and I learned that from my brother. Who was already serving time. My brother Christopher, he said you can either come to prison, and it can either be a playground for you, or it can be like college, bro. You can come in, you can get yourself right mentally and physically. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what I did. I utilized that time to get right mentally, physically, and spiritually, because I had to get right with God. And
Amen.
that followed me all the way till I came home.
Mhm.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
I want to know now, after all these experiences you've had, what does your future look like?
Right. And
Mhm.
God's there. um, right now, I'm in the making of doing businesses, and I want to work with the youth. I want to work with people incarcerated. I want to stop this from ever happening to anyone if I can. That's the God on the truth, and get people closer to God. Let them know who's real. Get
Amen.
them closer to God.
Mhm.
That's where we at with it. Cause no matter what I want to do, if it don't serve His purpose, it's gonna crumble. And I'm learning that right now at the age that I am. So I gotta
Mhm.
do what God want me to do. And that's how this interview transpired.
It transpired too with one of your biggest supporters, um,
Yeah,
Miss April.
my mother.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Tell
Yes,
us a
sir.
little bit about her.
Oh man, hard working lady.
Mhm.
Worked down to the bone, man. She worked down to the bone. My mom, she makes a way. I love her. Like, granted, because we're just alike, so we bump our little heads, but that's my best friend for real, for real. Like, she my heart, and I keep telling myself if I can make it where she ain't gotta ever work a day in her life, she would become the most laziest person ever because she deserves it. Because she gives to so much people, she work for so many people. Like, she's the person, if you need something done, you can call on her and it's gonna get done. It's gonna
Mhm.
get done to the T. So my mother, she's a blessed woman. She's a strong woman, and
Mhm.
all my life, I gotta say she about did it by herself. Every now and then, my father came in, stepfather here and there. She was married before, but most of the time it was always my mom getting it done by herself. I remember a time when we had to stay in a one bedroom apartment, and we all had to sleep in the same bed. And my mom used to say all the time, babe, we only here temporary, babe, we ain't gonna be here long. You know what I'm saying? Like, what
Mhm.
y'all wanna go eat? Like we'll go out, go eat, go McDonald's, da 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 da. And she never made it feel like we were struggling. You
Mhm.
know,
Yes.
we didn't get,
Mm.
a living room full of Christmas presents, but we had stuff up underneath that tree. She made ways. I'm talking about,
Amen.
yeah, the house could be as thin as a can of beer, but we provided, we warm, we got food, we got clothes on our back. My mama gonna make a way, and the stuff that we put her through sometimes. That's why I
Mhm.
got selfish when I went up and asked God to forgive me for her sake, because
Mhm.
she didn't deserve that. And I don't believe no parent should have to bury their child. And I refuse to have my
That's
mom to
right.
bury me,
That's right.
especially
Amen.
behind my shenanigans. No,
Mm.
no, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So yeah, she's a wonderful woman.
Mhm.
Above everything that whatever the world know about her, they don't know enough. She's too wonderful. If
Mhm.
she can,
Mm.
she'll give you the shirt off her back. 'Cause that's where I get it from. Get it from
Mhm.
her.
Yes.
She's
Man.
stern though, but yeah, she's a wonderful one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she get that from her mama. Yeah, from her mama. Yeah.
Antonio,
So
I want you to add something to your story.
yes, sir. Talk to me.
Um, when we do, you say the shenanigans, when we do commit these crimes and we do involve everybody else in our lives just because we're having a bad day. I
Yes,
do
sir.
want you to think about the arresting officers. I heard you speak about the young lady that you grabbed her hand and you wouldn't let it go.
Yes, sir.
I want you to think about them. I want you to think about uh, the EMS. Think about the guy.
The ones that saved me, I do.
Yeah.
That's how I know there's no such thing
Mm-hmm.
as everybody feel like all cops are bad. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's good cops out there, and it's good
Amen.
people out there.
Man.
Some cops just have bad days. You just bumped across them.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody have a bad day. You gotta
Right.
remember people are human. But yeah, I love my
Mm-hmm.
police, my EMS, especially her. If I can meet her right now,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I thank her.
Yeah.
Probably dozen of roses.
Right. And
Yes,
including, I had committed a crime against a guy, and I ended up shooting him. But I know one of the properties of healing was me asking
yes, sir.
that guy for forgiveness, because I remember I stepped into his world. So
Yes,
those
sir.
those things, those that saved our lives, those that we may have had some other thoughts about before these things interact, include, especially the police officers that wake up every morning and go and risk their lives and encounter guys like us that don't have good intentions that particular day.
Can I just ask one question?
Yes.
To the two individuals that came with me that said that y'all wasn't gonna leave me and that y'all was gonna forever ride with me,
Mm-hmm.
why did y'all leave me? Why y'all ain't call nobody?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all left me for dead.
Right.
That's all I want to know.
Right. And even that, Antonio, is to still leave room for you to forgive them as well.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah, you was talking
Yeah.
about forgiveness, and I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm getting there with that. I do want to talk to him. I just want to ask him that question.
Yeah.
That's the only question I want to ask him, and
Why
they
did
could
they
give me
leave
that
you?
explanation, and I can understand the
Mm-hmm.
explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can get
Amen.
that part, and I know I gotta forgive because if I don't forgive, I won't be
Don't ask
forgiven.
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't
Yes.
ask for it if you don't give it.
yeah. So
Amen.
Well, it has
sorry.
been a pleasure, man. I admire your strength. The testimony I know
Yes,
is
sir.
going to bless very many people.
Yes,
A
sir.
lot of people are going to be blessed by this and your encouragement. I'm excited to hear about what comes out of your ministry, because you do have a ministry, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe that it's doing this, what you just did with us, also, as well as going into juvenile facilities and even prisons to share your testimony, because a lot of people need to hear it.
Yes, sir.
So this has been the Death or Prison podcast, brought to you by leanonmeusa.org. We're finishing up a phenomenal testimony of Antonio Madison, and I hope you check out both this episode and the first one. If you tuned in on the second one, you got to go back and check out the genesis of this phenomenal testimony. Now, this is the Death or Prison podcast, but we say choose
Choose
life.
life.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
That was a 2 point.
Father ready to hold your hand.